Yeah, thanks, John. Um, yeah, obviously we knew what type of the game this was going to be. We knew it was going to be a physical battle. And congrats to Gio. It just looked like that team wanted it more, right? And yeah, it hurts me to say that because yeah, I believe in a team that we've created here that likes to be that end of the scale. You know, nice and physical and combative. And I thought, yeah, congrats to Gio. We got what we deserved tonight, and unfortunately, we couldn't match, the physical output that they put out on the day. And we'll look at that, and I'll reflect it myself for this result because, yeah, this was not up to my standards. And, we apologize to the fans who came out here. It was great support, and unfortunately, we couldn't reward them. We found a way back in the game. I thought, the guys did well who came on. Thomas Ostrak, notably, has been looking for a bit of game time, and he did really well. He was a bit of a game changer for us, as well as Celio. So, in terms of positives, I would say that's about the only positives from a gloomy night.
Thanks, Coach. We'll go to the floor to questions. Go ahead, Tom.
Brad, what do you think was behind they started making those runs, especially in the second half, and got those dangerous chances, one of which led to the penalty kick. What were they able to exploit?
Space.
Yeah.
Where there's space underneath, space behind, space on the sides, space everywhere. I just felt everywhere I looked there was space. Unfortunately for me as a coach, we're trying to correct things during the game, and that's what we have a set of principles for, right? For different scenarios, for different phases in the game. Unfortunately, we couldn't find those right tools to deal with those situations. So again, unfortunately, I would say this is a tough day at the office for us. It's a good learning moment.
And then disappointing, Celio ties the game, and then you sense a defensive, just a letdown from the team after that as far as principles?
Yeah, obviously you have the energy and the hype, right? You're excited, and oftentimes the very next few plays after a goal, whether you concede or whether you score, are going to be vitally important, right? So, and you could just see maybe a little sense of relief from us, which meant now a little lack of concentration. So, again, I'll look at this very long and hard just to make sure that, we're staying true to our principles and making sure, we have to put out guys, making sure that with the details, the planning, the game plan, that's all said and good. But at the end of the day, it's me against you. And, I have to win my personal battles. And unfortunately, that just slipped away from us today a little bit.
Coach, you might not be able to comment on this, so I'm going to ask you anyway. You think the ref had a bad night tonight?
Yeah, listen, I mean, if I have to start worrying about the referees and decisions, then it means, there's other factors why you lose a game. You lose a game for mistakes, you lose a game for momentum, and you lose a game, not sticking to your principles. If we have to rely on the ref in the fourth instance, the three other things I've mentioned, and then the ref, then, I think we're in for a long season. So for me, I got nothing to say about the refs, whatever calls. I haven't had a look back at the calls, so I have to go and reflect back and have a look. But, I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to do their best. And, last week in Colorado, we get 8 minutes of stoppage time. We only got 5 with multiple stoppages and no time wasting. So, again, that's about as much as I'll say to that.
Coach, in the first half, really, you kept getting Leuven in that left spot of the offense, and that was really where a lot of your good looks were coming from. Did you guys see something in there? Was that just something naturally that came?
Yeah, I mean, Edu plays with a lot of freedom of the moment, right? So Edu is flexible in his approach, and he looks to create space, or he looks to exploit space that the opponent gives him. Obviously, he's a targeted man now. People know where he's going to pop up. So, he tries to find some space. I think he did a good job in the first half trying to find that space, and we looked dangerous. What are the follow actions? Where is the movement off the ball? Where is the final, the running off the ball, the movement? So we're going to look at all of that in the final third. I thought of a lot of it was trying to solve things too much on the ball once we had it, without now the freedom and flexibility of the other guys' movement off the ball, right? So when Thomas comes in, you see, the way he sets up the goal, this first movement behind the lines, we exploit space, it's a cutback, it's a tap in, and that's the sort of movements we were looking for. So unfortunately, we couldn't exploit that as best as we could. I thought we tried to solve things a little bit too statically tonight.
And with him dominating so much of your chance creation early, was there any worry, or what was the thought process behind moving him back after some of those subs?
No, I mean, obviously, with Edu in the 10 from his starting position, he's out of position, right? So we knew that we could get him up the field. We know that Edu likes to get up the field, and we wanted Miggy on the field for his combative nature. We just had a couple of shaky moments as a midfield, as a back line, as a front line. Our departments were working individually this evening and not together. So we didn't really see that unity together, and something that we pride ourselves by. So, I'd just say everything we try to do wasn't really the plug, to plug the Band-Aid. And we could just see that through the night. And credit to them. They just wanted it more. And everything we try to solve and try to work and manipulate through the game, we couldn't really get on top of them and get that momentum back in the game.
Coach, sorry. This is the first chance that a club has had a second look at you. Do you feel like some of that was them adjusting defensively to the looks that you're giving them, or do you kind of view this game in a vacuum?
I don't think structurally, I don't think there was any structural issues. They lose a player early on. They bring Paredes. Paredes finds a few more gaps between the lines, maybe. But I don't think structurally, I think this was, credit to Gio, but this was very self-inflicted as well, So, and that's the disappointing thing, because we go home with empty stomachs, no points, and just a little bit of disappointment, and we don't like to spend the rest of the weekend playing like this in front of our fans. So that doesn't sit well to any of us. The guys are bitterly disappointed outside or in the locker room, and that's the most hurtful thing, right? Not to reward the fans with something. So,
Bradley, it felt like especially in the first half, you guys had a lot of opportunities in the attacking third, but you couldn't put together really many dangerous opportunities.
Yeah.
Does that just speak to the disconnectedness, or not having a guy like Klaus on the field who can kind of create in those situations?
No,
or both, I guess.
Yeah, we try and finish off. When we get into the final third, we want to finish final place, right? So unfortunately, was it backing around again? Was it not getting shots off? Was it trying too many? I don't know. They have a strong aerial back line, right? So with McGraw, he's one of those guys who can win a lot of aerial duels. So, could we have exploited space down below more? Could we have exploited space behind the lines? Could we exploited space in front of the lines? So unfortunately, we just, in terms of decision making, I felt we chose one or two wrong decisions, or multiple decisions in the final third. So we lacked a little bit of creativity and a little bit of freedom tonight.
Hey, Bradley, I know you haven't seen the film of the game yet, but what can you share about what you saw out of Miguel Perez overall today?
Yeah, Miggy's feisty, right? So Miggy's feisty, he's combative. We're not playing him to make, intricate line-splitting passes, right? So and he can do those. And we know Miggy's a young guy, and he needs these experiences, right? If we're going to push him along, and he's in his national team, if he wants to progress, and these are experiences we're going to give Miggy, right? And we're proud of what we've created in terms of the environment to reward young players and get players through who play by our principles, right? So, and Miggy fits that mold. So yes, any judgment of Miggy or any reflections back on Miggy, for sure it's not going to be a perfect game, right? And you could see he's just turned 18 a day or two ago. So from that point of view, I don't think there's anything more in his mind than just to get out there and play with his friends, right? And that's the attitude I need Miggy in, and not to overthink it. So Miggy's doing great. We just try to get a different look when we brought him off. Yeah,
I was going to say, did Miggy play like an 18-year-old?
No, he doesn't. And that's the thing we like about him, right? So, but obviously we need Miggy to, we want to be the best versions of ourselves, and we want every player to be the best versions of themselves and to be free and not to overthink things. But, Miggy was fine. We didn't do bad with Miggy on the field. We just needed to push the game in a different way.
Just the offense without Klaus, did you think, other than the finishing issues that you had, just how did you feel about the offense without your top scorer?
Yeah, good. I thought we could, we asked a lot of Gioacchini. We looked at his load at halftime, and he had run through the roof, right? So he just has a lot of gas to burn, and unfortunately, maybe, he tried a little bit of too much running in terms of the pressing, the distances. We try to get Edu and Gio as a double striker partnership when we were pressing, and try to get Gio underneath, with Edu underneath as the 10 when we had the ball. So Unfortunately, we couldn't get the pressing triggers in terms of turnovers. We couldn't get those quite right tonight, and they didn't give us really an opportunity to. They just exploited space behind and played long. So, unfortunately, we couldn't get Gio in his game, right? Gio holding up the ball, Gio bringing others into play. It just wasn't that type of a game tonight, and unfortunately, we have to start chasing a game, and then that's why we make certain substitutions.
As we got time for 2 more, we'll go back to Matt.
Alm gets that secondary assist on the goal, and he also just the entire game was pressing the whole game. He comes back from the head injury and immediately comes like a bull out of the china shop. You just talk about the game that Alm has and really how he's developed over the last 5-6 match weeks.
Yeah, good. I mean, Rasmus is getting better every single week that he spends with us. Rasmus is getting better with the quality and the output of his performances. That comes with game time, and that comes with momentum. Yeah, so. Rasmus is a quality player. He plays true to our principles. He's a guy that eats, sleeps, and breathes our principles every single day, and you can see that on the field. He brings an energy for the crowd. You can just see he's a live wire. When he gets going, he gets the energy of the crowd behind him. And we just needed the players to feed a little bit of that energy. And that was the missing link for me, was a bit of the energy, right, of the group. So, and I told the group, this starts with me. I reflected myself and look at how my energy was before the game. Did I give the right messages? So from that point of view, any reflection, any blaming, finger pointing, I look at myself first and foremost.
Coach, to you had a couple of nice, really touches in the coaching box early on in the game. Doesn't that demonstrate your dedication to the game?
No, I think the first one got away from me. I was a bit disappointed with the first one.
Your first touch
I had to
failure.
work hard at the second one, so, yeah.
Coach, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Brad.